new face here in Malton, and particularly at Richard Fye's Musley Bank stables, is Brian Abbott, new vet on the premises, part of the McVeigh group, which is an international group, started off in South Africa, now covers France and indeed Newmarket, and has moved to Yorkshire thanks to Brian, and he's just going to examine a horse. Brian, what are you looking at now when this horse trots up?
Well, lameness, obviously, looking particularly which leg, and we tend to look at the horses constantly, so we're looking at the way they change, their movement changes over time as we're training them, and how we can help them in their training.
Okay, we'll just see him go through his paces now. It's keeping a right balance on each leg, I suppose, Brian, here, really.
Exactly, yeah.
No nodding or anything like that?
Yeah, no nodding, no asymmetry in the muscles, swelling in the joints, etc. And then, you know, we'll have a good feel at the limbs. So, you know, we'll feel down and we'll check for heat and swelling in the legs.
Yeah.
We'll check for pain and flexion.
And that would denote a problem, a knee, if there was any sort of reaction to that, a knee problem or a joint problem or anything like that.
Exactly, we can feel quite a lot of the joints and the ligaments, you know, whether there's swelling there, whether there's a little bit of heat, whether there's trying to pick up things, you know, before they become a problem is very important to us, you know, so we try and, you know, trot the runners out, we try and look at the horses on a regular basis so as we can see changes occurring in those particular horses.
And it's nipping things in, as you say, nipping things in the bud before they become major things.
Absolutely, prevention is better than cure, as in most walks of life. So you know, that's really, you know, we're a constant presence, and that's a very important part of their day-to-day routine. You know, is looking at the horses on a regular basis.
This is a horse that now wants scoping. Take us through the procedure of this.
Basically, it's very simple. We put the twitch on initially. Which just helps us restrain the horse a little better. It's quite comfortable with that, but it just gives Freya a better chance to keep the head still. And then the scope just is a little endoscope, so it literally just goes in the nostril, and we pass it up to the level of the larynx, and then we can assess the larynx for movement. So some horses have what we call wind problems and have an asymmetry of the larynx. Others can be gurglers and displace the soft palate.
Yeah.
Also, a major thing that we're looking for is airway health, which is the main reason we scope them, is for mucus or blood after the exercise.
Yeah.
And both of those things, you know, can cause a degree of poor performance, but this horse is quite clean, which is great. We do sometimes take a sample from down there, but we don't need to do it in this instance. We're just doing a check, so and then we come out nice and gently, and the twitch can come off.
And again, is that looking to check problems before they start, or problems that might have uncovered themselves on the gallops, for instance?
It's mostly to try and uncover problems, whether they cough after exercise, and they can cough if they've bled a little bit or they've increased mucus, or whether they make a noise during exercise that can be a whistle, or it can be a gurgle, or, you know, there's a number of different abnormal noises they can make, so it's to investigate those things.
And if a horse has bled internally, that would pick it up, would it?
It would after exercise, yeah. That bleeding can disappear quite quickly, so it is important to do it quite soon after exercise.
And we hear at the races often that a horse, or the trainer has ordered a horse to be scoped because he hasn't been happy with the performance. Again, that is all sort of an urgent matter, because, as you say, the blood disappears quite quickly. Yeah,
they manage to get the blood up and swallow it, or, you know, and also the mucus. You do see more because it comes up during the exercise period, so it is important to do it after the exercise.